before the law, it was becoming quite common for lesbians in Norway to travel to Denmark, where it was allowed, have fertility treatment there, and travel home and have their babies. Both of my children are done that way.
Okay. And legally, was it recognized in Norway? I mean, you were already pregnant, but
exactly. I mean, the Norwegian government would never say otherwise than that. Well, I was pregnant; it was my child. Our troubles have been that we wanted our children to have two legal parents. So we managed to make the government see, up until the law was in place, that our children needed two parents. So we've been able to adopt our own children. So I've adopted the child that my wife gave birth to, and the other way around. But now, when you can get fertility treatment in Norway, that process is close to automatic. The moment you get, if you are a married couple, your children will almost automatically have two parents legally.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in Mexico there is a controversy about this issue, because some activists are complaining that we are focusing too much into marriage and not in all the other reasons to fight, because for some people marriage is like the peak of activism, and then activism is dead. But I see your organization is not dying. I see it is growing, and it is like so. Marriage is not the end of it. What is your perspective?
My perspective has been the other way around. That having all the legal rights in place is just the first step, and for us, the legal right to marry has been the last fight on the legal issues, on having the same rights as everybody else. Same rights to health services, same rights to being protected by the police, the same rights to speak our mind. I mean, and it's been a progressive process. We started out with having to decriminalize homosexuality, and that didn't happen until the middle of the 70s. So we've had a rights-based movement all along, and I'm thinking that the marriage law was the final legal battle. Now there's just minor issues. There's still some legal issues, but really minor issues. But that is only the basics. Now we're starting the real tough work, and that is stopping the bullying in school and making sure that homosexuality is not presented as a deviance, but as a part of the general variations of being a human being. Now we have to make sure that when you go to the doctor does not automatically assume that you're heterosexual and treat you as if and maybe even give you wrongful diagnosis based on assumptions about you. Now you have to make sure that when gay bashing does happen, because it does, that the police actually can handle that and enter into it in a proper way. And all of these issues are things that we're working full speed on. We have to make sure that everywhere in this very long and thin country, that everywhere, if you are gay, you have to be able to have a place where you can meet others and know that you're safe and can be yourself. We have all our work towards the labor market. You should not have to hide part of who you are in the lunch discussions at work. You should be able to talk about your holidays with your partner,
your birthday.
Your everything, pretty much, without the risk of not being promoted or having your colleagues talk about you behind your back. So this is the really hard part, and really a part of our work that I believe is difficult, as long as you have a law stating that here's a group of people with these rights, but this group of people can only have these rights. If our group of people can only have these rights legally, and the state puts a stamp on that saying this is the way things are, then fighting all of those other issues that really are important to the daily lives of everyone is difficult, because the bully at work or the bully at the school will say, but even the law states that you're not as good as me. So to me, the legal issues, the rights issues, is just the beginning. It's just the basics to get into the issues that really matter to people on a daily basis. Det går fint.
Okay, and it might be a naive question, but I have to do it because are we good parents? Are we better parents? Are we equal parents than straight couples?
I believe we are. I believe we're just as good or bad parents as straight people. I don't think the sexual orientation makes any difference at all. I've seen research done on both in the States and in Denmark and here, finding hardly any difference between children growing up in straight homes and children growing up in homes with gays or lesbians. One of the few differences they do find is that children in gay homes are usually a tiny bit more tolerant of differences among people. Other than that, I haven't seen any reliable research finding any differences really. There was even some research in Denmark lately that found that children of lesbians, it was only lesbians, visited the psychiatric health system less than other children throughout their lives. So the media presented that as lesbians being better parents than heterosexuals. I think that might be taken a little out of proportion. I really do believe that it does not make any difference. If we're better parents in this sort of study, it might be because the only lesbians that have the resources, both mentally and economically, and to go through and break the barriers that are to lesbians having children, are the most resourceful, and they might also have the most resources to give their children a stable environment to grow up in, whereas heterosexuals do not have those barriers to have children. They are expected to have children even if they might have some hesitation. So we are experienced two very different sets of pressures. We are pressured not to have children, and heterosexuals are pressured to have children. So of course our choices are influenced by that.
Okay. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.